What's up, shit? Tim is here. Now, of course, Jim Carrey, recently was just cast to pretty much come back to the big screen for the new Jetsons film, and obviously, Jim Carrey's recent projects has mostly been Sonic and all, but looks like, one of like Jim Carrey's obviously best film he's ever done is definitely The Mask, the one that really, I guess, you could say cemented him as comedy superstar and all. Well, the director of that, Chuck Russell, also directed Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. And he's actually interested in really reuniting with Jim Carrey, but for a new Nightmare on Elm Street. In a recent interview with Dread Central, Chuck Russell, director and co-writer of the fan favorite Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, is interested in returning to the world of Freddy Krueger, uh, especially if he can reunite with stars Patricia Arquette and Robert Englund. Here's what he said: "I'd love to do I'd love to do another Elm Tree if there was a full support of everybody." Russell told Dread Central's Development Hell podcast, Patricia Arquette has said she'll like to do it again in the press. Very interesting because she didn't talk about a lot earlier in her career. That was actually one of her earliest roles she did. That was obviously before True Romance and all. Now, very interesting because she, of course, did talk about a lot during her career. She was so terrific and went on to have a great career and an Oscar as well, and an Emmy. I think that's a good idea also. He continues saying, I still think Robert for me is the only Freddy where I should be involved on a new Elm Street. A, I'll be delighted. B, my first go would get Robert involved. With England having gone on record saying Freddy days are behind him, Russell thinks Jim Carrey, with whom of course he collaborated on The Mask, could pull off the iconic role. Saying, Jim, in my opinion, could do almost anything if he put his heart into it. Russell said for Jim to do it, we'll have to do something that was another leap in Elm Street series, a little bit like what Wes did with his very meta New Nightmare. I think Jim will only consider it and I'd only consider harnessing Jim if there was a bold direction for Elm Street. Not gonna lie, I will love this if they go ahead and for one we got. I ever wonder if we're ever gonna get an Elm Street film off the ground. But for hindsight, if they go ahead and announce Jim Carrey as the new Freddy Krueger for an Elm Street film, sign me up right there. That could be really cool. I mean, he's obviously ventured into horror before. Actually, his first movie was technically horror. Was that I forgot the name of it. That vampire movie he did. I think it was called First Bite. Oh, Once Bitten. So pretty much his first movie was a horror film, more a horror comedy, obviously. And and of course he did that movie Number 23. So there's that too. And he did that little cannibal horror film with Jason Momoa in it called The Bad Batch. Not to be confused with the Star Wars Bad Batch. This is a different Bad Batch. It's like a cannibalist space film with Jason Momoa. Keanu Reeves was in that one. Pretty fun little horror film, by the way. So this will be, and I could easily see Jim Carrey wanting to do this too. Like it, I think this could be interesting if it actually obviously happens. So if it happens, sign me up with this one. I mean, it will be cool to see. Like, obviously, I really don't think you could really get Robert Englund back as Freddy. Maybe he could actually come in, maybe as like a cameo or something. That could be pretty cool. But as I think the last time we ever really did saw Robert Englund as Freddy was not obviously the last major film was Freddy vs. Jason, but the last time we actually got to see Robert Englund as Freddy on screen was not in A Nightmare on Elm Street, was in an episode of the show The Goldbergs. Do yourself a favor, YouTube Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger, The Goldbergs. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it would be pretty cool if they actually somehow get a new Elm Street film off the ground and they get Jim Carrey on board as Freddy, this could be probably even be better than Jackie Earl Haley. And I'm a defender of his Freddy, but whether it happens, that has to say. Anyway, along with you guys, what are your thoughts on Chuck Russell interested in getting pretty much interested in having Jim Carrey as Freddy for a new Nightmare on Elm Street? Would you love to see this happen? Do you think there's a possibility it could ever happen? Were you ever a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise? And are you a fan of Jim Carrey in general? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Timmy Simon.